Hello, I'm not getting any sound. 1 second, stream's not hearing sound because Sonar changed all my shit. They can hear me, they can't hear you, Rap. But hello, stream. That should maybe fix it. 1 second.
Full hearing.
Yeah, they can. There we go. Sonar updated. Sorry, guys. Welcome back. How are you? Hey, J-Rain. We're working on the new setting
J-Rain. How you going?
Yes. Working on bit by bit. We got to start talking about the GTA 6 trailer. I apologize.
How are you on the Des? How are you doing?
I'm a little tired, but I'm good. I got my new camera. I got my I got the replacement clip for my camera mount, so it's back. Hey, yes. Trigger.
No more spicy, eh?
No more streamer angle. But I'm good. I'm here.
Yeah, while we're talking. Yeah, sorry. I mean, while we were just talking about the new setting and all that, though, just before we get into things, if there's anything that people want us to tackle next, if people have ideas, like, hey, I really want to see you design a city next, or I want to see you design some gods, let us know and we'll get to that, because this is designing with you guys. So if you have ideas, if you have concepts you want to throw out there, or different directions you want us to go in, let us know. Shout it out there.
Pop off in chat.
Exactly. Pop off. But yeah, so Des, sorry for interrupting you.
No, absolutely. So yeah, we're here. I hope everyone you want trees. Trees.
All right, what trees?
Do they smell like pennies?
For fuck's sake, that was good. Okay, trees. But Des, you know what? That is an interesting question. That is actually an interesting question I want to bring up. Does this world have standard flora and fauna?
Nah.
Are there cows and shit, or are there some weird?
No, there's like cows and shit, but I think there's some
cows.
weird like fantasy cows.
Okay. But see, and that is actually something I really want to get into.
I'm not sorry. Yeah, look, that's fine.
Don't be. That was beautiful, Taz. No, something I really want to develop in this world. We do have tree people. But no, something I really want to develop in this world are just regular fauna. I don't want necessarily there to be like, yeah, designing monsters is great, but I also want like the regular, relatively everyday animals to be created as well, like there to be new species that exist and just interact with the world. Hey, Uldra, how you going? Hope you're doing all right today.
No, but yeah, we have like some version, but like I did this before, and I don't know. It's kind of, it's actually Avatar Way of Water that made me think of this. It's just like world building, like the flora and fauna, like the ecological system of the world. It's not something we see an awful lot in fantasy. We go, there's a complete fantasy world. It has all your typical cows, sheep, chickens, all of it.
Yep.
Is there like a weird horse? Is it like a weird horse with 6 legs? No.
Yep. Look, occasionally there'll be some weird, slightly changed thing, but it's not anything truly different. In a lot of cases, that being said, there are a lot of cases as well that do create unique species.
I've got an idea for how we design these races. We boot up the original launch version, like patch version of No Man's Sky, and we hit up like 20 planets, and whatever flora and fauna we find, full send. Remember the fucking T-Rex walking around on 2 arms, like. Uldra, we don't know yet. We're gonna continue races and stuff, but if people want to talk about something specific, we'll go with that. We're talking kind of right now about like flora and fauna, and we don't really have a set plan yet for it.
We boot up Spore and we just play Spore. That is how we design it.
Okay, we just make our own petri dishes and see what we can birth, and that's what we put in it.
What unholy abominations we can bring into the world.
Just be like, kill me. No, you are my child.
No, you are now existing. Go forth and multiply in our setting.
Bro, imagine if that's how DMs populate the world. Original launch spawns of No Man's Sky. The fucking goofy fucking like creatures. Nah,
man. Nah, never again. The fucking T-Rex on 2 arms, that shit's haunted. That's just a curse. That is forever in my brain. But yeah, Uldra, if you have a particular topic you want us to work on, or a suggestion, like, as I said before, if you want to see us do something like design a city in the world, or, anything a bit more directed like that, let us know. Because otherwise we'll go on our merry way and just do things at our own pace. But if there's a particular thing you want to see us tackle, by all means.
So I think we have like a loose guideline today of, if in a vacuum no one suggests anything, now my brain don't work that way. Yeah, that's fair. My brain don't work. Full stop. And
I was just gonna say my brain just don't work.
But today we're gonna go more on the races, see if we can build some cultures and cities. Maybe we'll even look into magic a bit more. But that being said, I actually do really like that idea to start Jaren. It's trees. Like, what the... Like, I don't know. I fucking love when I see that shit. Because, like, if a fantasy setting doesn't have unique flora and fauna, I don't go, oh, there's no unique flora and fauna. But if a fantasy setting does have it, I'm like, fuck, there's unique flora and fauna.
See, I think there's something... I think we can get... And this is something I wanted to talk a bit more on. If we went back into the more sort of the geography of the world and just the general ecology and environments and stuff, I think we can get a little bit creative in parts. I think we should try and almost have unique environmental effects in the world. And I think perhaps that's something that we try to also think of. And then that can also shape what animals, what's the flora and fauna of the setting.
If we try and create one, I have an idea things. What to be creative about. Free balling ain't no way. Look, okay, Raph. Geography and ecology doesn't make a good stream title, so
no, it doesn't. It doesn't. But what I'm thinking, like, just in terms of, certain effects, certain things that can happen, and that can shape them.
Okay, well, let's talk geography.
For example,
wait 1 second. This is environmental. I gotta put on my glasses. No way, it's more accurate. This is some nerd shit, like.
Yeah, this is some deep nerd shit. No, but I was thinking in terms of environmental effects that can really shape the world, potentially going into what if there's moments where you have the other world, whereas the moments where it's weak and it seeps across, but it's almost like weather effects from like storms and stuff, like ethereal storms, magical storms from that world coming across because the barrier is weak at that point.
What if which then almost creates unique north and like magnetic poles, we have like astral nexuses, like where instead of the magnetism of the world is
how does this world not have magnetic poles then?
No, I think just the magnetic poles are like these astral nexuses where it's like kind of this like that force is gonna be like perpetual kind of thin barrier between worlds.
Okay, actually, I have a very interesting question here. Is the world flat? Is it a sphere? Like, what shape is this world? What are we looking at here? What are we looking at? My brain's just Ionian? I'm just thinking League of Legends in my brain. Shroom's a crimson red mushroom with a black eye in the middle. Has an extremely smoky taste. If boiled down, can form an oil that when applied to a weapon, it gets into the bloodstream. It gives the user paranoid state. Interesting. Hallucinogenic shrooms, a sign me up for any setting.
Does it make me forget my problems? Please and thank you.
Inonia. God.
Inonia.
Good on you, mate.
It's just an Australian mushroom.
Like, it all comes down to Australia. Let's just have a look. I'm just curious if we get... I'm just gonna put a plant section in here.
Okay, so I suppose we need like highlands, valleys, forests, like the usual bits. Like I think if we can like get a thicket.
Yeah, we have the usual things. We have the usual things, but what are the abnormal things? What are the supernatural environments of the world? What are some of like the real freak things that sort of shape it? Do these things exist? Are there these?
I think there is.
Are there magical storms? Are there? Which Quenthos doesn't really have. Quenthos doesn't really have.
No.
Quenthos.
Is the world? Is it a planet? Because we've always done planets. Or is this world flat?
Is it a planet? Is it flat? That's what I'm saying. Is the?
Do we make the world flat?
Deathwind tornadoes happens when Solus area and Solus are in between clash, getting caught. Might suck your soul into the in between. Interesting. Almost like a vortex that connects them. That's something curious. That's something curious. I want to.
What if the world deadass is just flat, but it's kind of like the underneath of the world is the spirit realm? It's like that.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
Because the world could then taste like pennies. It's just a big penny.
No. You know what? Because you said that, we're retracting that idea.
Okay. You know, yeah, that's fine.
Is the other side just mirrored above? Yeah, like it could even be a thing where it's just like, why am I doing that? But like that type of thing.
Not like this type of thing.
Bro,
some stupid shit going on in chat today.
Okay, but potentially that is something.
Or I don't know. Like, do you like worlds? Do you like flat worlds? Do you like that?
It's something to consider. I don't know if I mean, it could even be what if it's almost like a circle, right? It's like a circle. It's flat, but there's something around it. Like the other world is almost like surrounding it. Like an inner world. Yeah. It's just hollow. It's just the hollow Earth theory. The material world's just on the inside. I don't know though. Like,
that was a joke. That's the Stranger Things. Yeah.
Nah. But no, like it is interesting. What shape do we want for the world? Do you have a preference? Do you like it? Do you prefer it being a sphere?
I don't actually care because we're not going with cosmological stuff. Like, there's no.
We're not. But this is, I feel like, something important for us to at least have in our minds.
I mean, I suppose more important, do the people on the world believe it's a sphere? Like, is it a planet or is...
Depends where. Just like it depends where in the world. Some people could think it's flat. Some people could think it's round.
And I kind of love that whole, like, old time, like, think I'll sail off the edge of the world. I just love that.
Yeah.
Also, race suggestion, a race with innate strong magic that doesn't use souls and can make bluish energy bows and shoot with it. Interesting.
That sounds like a reference to something.
Interesting. We could call it like I don't know, like Quincy or something. That's a Bleach reference, Raph.
Is this a fucking Bleach reference?
It's a Bleach reference. It's a Bleach reference.
Udro. Stop encouraging Des. All right, stop encouraging Des with these Bleach references.
I got it immediately. Because my eyes drew to like the bluish energy and shoot with it, and I was like, you fuck. Yes. But no, I love those like old timey like myths of like the sail off the edge of the world stuff. I loved that as a kid, like those stories.
Is that true in this world? Is it true? For those brave who have tried to venture and voyage to discover if it's true or not, what have they found? Have they found ways to go around? Or is it
the thing I like about a flat Earth, or I suppose the thing I don't like about a sphere is it's done. Everything on that sphere is fucking done now. You know.
That's true.
The hive, a city formed out of a giant crystalline nest, with the no longer inhabited by the last owner, the Sonara people, pagan type clan, have set up shop forming weapons and arms out of the claws and hides of the hunted insects. That everything is all just backwards and upside down. True at points. Yep. I like that idea, Trigger. That's a cool idea for if we do an insectoid race, we could do something like that.
Yeah.
To like a hive-based city.
Look, I think it's something that almost, between us, we can come up with an answer, but I think very much in the setting, it's debated upon. Like, depending where in the world, certain people have certain theories, beliefs. It depends. It varies. It was more just a question for the two of us, like, what do we want? Is there an approach we want to take with that?
Okay, then people that can definitely not harden parts of their body and transform them. Definitely not arms most time, and definitely not red and black. Definitely not. Chad move.
What's his Bleach reference?
Chad move.
What's his Bleach reference?
It's the reference to the character Chad in Bleach. He can turn his arm harden into black and red. Yes. It's a bleach reference. I'm sorry.
Fuck's sake. Fuck's sake. We will never be free. We'll never be free of these bleach references.
Look, at least I can tell you which are bleach references, so we can not have them in the world.
True. Okay. Sorry, I distracted us heavily with that question.
Right, it's just like on track. Chat, what do you think? Spherical world or flat world?
Yeah, how does everyone feel about that?
Bro, I want some Godzilla-like creatures sleeping at the bottom of the oceans, though. I swear to God, give me some Cthulhu shit at the water.
Oh yeah, we need some real kaiju.
Square, you know that's a square world.
Okay, but Udro, you say square, and I don't know if you've been serious or not, but that is interesting. That is interesting. That is an approach we could take. The world could be a square.
See, I don't know. It's just like with a like. I don't know. It's like there's different planes. I don't know. I normally go with like a globe, like orbiting a sun, relatively normal solar system.
A giant cube.
It's just a giant cube. Just a cube. Just a cube.
Look, it's something we can think of. Something we can think of, perhaps.
It's just a D20. The world is a D20.
Rubik's Cube, yeah.
E3, indeed.
But yeah, no, what was I saying? But yeah, no, so I mean, depends. Did you want to talk about that today in terms of the more environmental side of things, or?
I can if chat wants to. Is my world round or flat?
The question that has to be answered. And GameCube is noise plays? Yeah, this is actually just a massive GameCube. That is the entire world. We are all living in it.
Bro, imagine though, it's a cube, but every side is the exact same world, but instead of like there's like multi-dimensions, like parallel universes, it's just the other sides of the cube. Or we just say that we're on this continent of this world. No one's ever sailed and come back. No one's sailed west. No one's gone west of Westeros. Don't know what's there.
No, fine. No. We want there to be interactions between continents. We want
No, I mean like there's multiple continents on this map we're doing.
Right.
GameCube noise plays, yeah, 100%.
I think round, yeah. Let's you know what? For now, let's say round, perhaps.
True. I just want to travel to the edge of the world. Sue me. Imagine being that person who really wants to travel to the edge of the world and you get there and it just fucking wraps back around. Imagine the disappointment.
The sheer disappointment. Like, damn, I really wanted to fall off the edge. Like my life.
Look, it was going to be the most glorious unaliving anyone's ever done. Definitely not an egg. It's an egg shape. Definitely not an egg.
Nah, the entire world's an egg.
And that, my liege, is why we understand the world to be shaped like a banana. Because the gods have truly fucked us.
Oh, fuck.
The fucking scientists just losing their shit. Trolling the kingdom. Just a thought, what if it adapts to what shape you think it is? Bro, okay, what about this? What if it's round, but in the oceans that separate the sides of the world or whatever you get around, there's like these massive fucking whirlpools. So people go, oh yeah, people have sailed off the world, but nah, it's just like this massive fucking whirlpool.
Okay, but what if there's almost a band around the world, like...
That's Quenthos.
Around a part of it where we could even have, like... Where it's almost been destroyed, like the material barrier between the two worlds has almost been separated, so no one actually goes through it and survives.
Look, we'll lock in sphere. We're taking too long on this.
Yes. We're taking too long on this. It's a sphere.
Or is it?
What the fuck up, Des? Look, do you really want me to bring up the topic of what the world name is again? Because that's how it really
I swear to fuck, if you do this, I'll riot.
But yeah, I think...
Make it a no-no square?
A no-no square? What's a no-no square?
I'm pretty sure that's a meme ref. I don't think the no-no square is.
Ojo, can you explain that reference to me? I feel woefully unprepared.
Usually, I'm too boomer to understand. Don't touch me there. Yes, you're no-no square.
But yeah, so moving on from the shape of the world, before that takes more time, deliberating over such a probably something that won't even come up in during any game. Hey, Stinks, how you going? Haven't caught a stream in ages. My apologies. I don't apologize. Good to have you here. Good to have you back. How have you been doing? How have you been since we last saw you? But yeah, so moving on from that, Des, is there something? Where do we want to move to next? Where do we want to move to next? What do we want to hit?
Okay, we can do culture. We could like. Do you want to work out what's in this fucky geography?
No, that was just a potential idea.
I genuinely don't mind. We can go whatever way chat wants to go. We can go whatever way you want to go. I'm easy. Or we can continue working on these kingdoms. We have a strong like basis for the races we have. We could pick one of them and start running with it. If chat, I've scrolled to them. We can start working on one of these races. We have 14 ones that we're locking in for definite, included from the start. Mm-hmm. We kind of worked on them in the past streams, getting them set up. I'm really curious what a cult like the Hag race is. Do they have like their own dedicated kingdom? Do they have like?
That's what I'm very curious about that one as well.
I'm curious.
We will
like obviously some races will have own kingdoms. Like there'll be a dwarf kingdom, elf kingdom. There will be like mixed kingdoms where there's a couple of everything. But like, is there going to be a Hag specific kingdom where it's ruled by a Hag?
See, I almost don't think there will be. I almost don't think there is.
Okay. I think the fun guy.
Because actually, my question is, in terms of the Hag race, is that how do they come into being? What is the origin point? Are they just like children of hags? Are they people created through their parents making deals with hags? Like, how are they created?
I don't know.
How do they form?
We haven't started working on them. But Stinks, what are we working on at the moment? I'm sure I have some ideas that I can throw if you're okay with that. Stinks, we're working on an entire new setting from scratch with chat. We've been doing this all on stream. I have to upload the VODs. I haven't been up in a bit. But we're basically working on a dark fantasy setting. We've got some races in the world. We've got some custom lineages that are basically work like you know, add-ons to the base race that you can take instead. Then we got some like maybe ideas. We got some monster ideas, some location ideas, some myth ideas, some plant ideas, and we're kind of just working through it with chat bit by bit and trying to do not too much of this off stream. Okay, what about everyone has a very personal spell that they can release when they are powerful? We can call it like a Bankai or something. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Is this another Bleach reference?
Yeah, it's another Bleach reference.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's another Bleach reference.
Fuck's sake.
Look, I'm at least letting you know they're Bleach references. I'm not sneaking them in under your nose. Uldrell, I like it. Put it in print.
No. Look, we'll just be soon playing the. We'll just soon be creating. We'll scrap this idea and we'll just create like a Bleach adaptation for 5e.
Yeah, that's it. Can I suggest something in regards to hags? Because I did something very interesting with hags in my world that I think might apply here. Yeah, sure. Tell us all about it. We're happy to hear it.
Yeah,
it's not,
happy to hear it.
Like, I'm not making it obvious. No, you're not making it obvious. Unfortunately, my Bleach reference radar is too strong for these references to slip past.
But also Stinks in terms
of... Well, actually, though, what if we had a country that is just like fully dedicated to warriors, and the country is literally ruled by the strongest warrior?
Is this a Bleach reference?
Nah, but like we could name the leader of it like Kenpachi or something. Kenny for short.
Gosh, I swear to fucking God.
Bleach reference. Uldrell, my guy.
So, everyone, there is an opening on the Eldritch Scribe for someone to.
Dude, DM, I'll see you guys. It's been good. 10 years over. Yeah, you can't get fired with tenure.
I can't fire you, motherfucker. That's not how this works. I was going to resign. Shit, now there's 2 placements.
Shit. We both just leave the stream up and nothing happened.
But I was going to say, Stinks, in terms of, we're also taking suggestions on for what people want us to tackle next. But yeah, we're also taking suggestions for what people want us to tackle next. So, you know, examples being like if you want us to design a city next or start working on the kingdoms, the realms of the world, if you want us to work on some of the unique races in the setting, if you want us to work on some of the you know, myths and religions in the world, and that's another direction we can take. But yeah, so no, we're taking suggestions for what you, the chat, want us to tackle next. You're right there, looking beautiful over there.
I can no longer grab the camera. I've got a thing back. So, a clown face, super scientist villain. Yo, that's a Batman reference. It's not rap. It's still a Bleach reference. It's still a Bleach.
I was gonna say, like, nah, there's no way.
I'm sorry.
No.
There's so many things I can pull back to a Bleach reference.
Actually, there is one question, actually, just in terms of something back onto the race section, if I had to go onto that.
Okay.
Actually, just one question I did have that we hadn't actually finalized on. Are orcs and goblinoids connected?
I personally don't mind. I like it in a sense.
Okay.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I'm neutral.
Neutral. Right. Okay. Good, because I didn't really have a feeling either way, so that's something I can work with in the meantime. I was just curious if you had an answer to that, because we're still like kind of thinking about it.
Okay. So Stinks. Changelings are actually a subspecies of hag, created when green hags got trapped in the shadow plane and weakened due to the energies there. They abandoned their original god. They're a chaotic evil deity of hags in my world called Grotus, which was taken from Pathfinder in favor of a chaotic good trickster god, taking on a formless, ever-changing shape in the process. Interesting. We decided we're not actually going to have changelings in this world. We didn't want to have shapeshifters in it, and but that's a curious origin for hags. I've always found, not hags, for changelings, I've always found the origins for changelings rather weak in a lot of settings.
In Quenthos, they're just created by the Firewalker, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's lore. I could dig it up. There is actually lore about why they were created to be changelings, but yeah, I don't have it off the top of my head. It's some lore I need to pull up and reference. I suppose one thing though is hag, because you said is hag like a lineage of someone who's born from a hag or made a deal with a hag? Is that a lineage or a race then? Because what I thought we were going is an actual hag race, like actual creatures that were turned into hags.
Interesting. I was going like a hag linked race, because obviously you don't want people playing like being like, yeah, I'm playing a night hag. Cool. I get to do all the stuff that they can do. Why can't I? I suppose, more had it like,
so we could make that a lineage then, because that's not really.
I don't think necessarily. I mean, why are tieflings then? I mean, in terms of like in the regular D&D equivalent. I imagine that's more in my mind what I was picturing it as.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I can do that. That's fair.
Yeah, like I don't know. It depends what route you want to take. Like, did you want to create a playable hag race, as it were?
That's honestly the way I thought we were going.
Interesting, because what is a hag then in this world? What is the origin of hag? What is a
hag? Origin idea. There was once a girl whose mother hated her so much that she abandoned the child in the well deep within the forest. Some say the child was never seen again. Others say she clawed her way out the forest. She clawed her way out of the forest. Mothered her in the forest, mothered her in return, and she became a being of great power and fear. Said any child abandoned deep in the woods will be adopted by the woods and forever changed. Interesting. Does the woods raise hags? Like, how do hags come about in this setting? Do they take children and turn them? Like, because there's very like clear stuff for like how hags are made in like typical D&D.
Okay, so did we want to discuss hags today? Did we want to discuss that? Because if so, I think we should have a separate doc drawn up for hags.
I feel like we do this all in the one doc, so we don't lose it like we did with so many other docs.
Okay. I think we don't necessarily, because there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to do in this doc. Because then it's like, because this isn't just a doc for races, this is a doc where we've got magic stuff in here as well. We've got cosmology, where we've got sections here potentially for deities and the like. Unless you just want to have it compounded onto just one.
I'm only nervous because when we did it with our world building before, we lost a lot of docs.
We didn't lose them, we just didn't write. Is more the issue. I found most of them, we just didn't really have much down there. So long as we write, then
build race
it's not really too much.
I think it has to be with the other side, or in between at least.
Loosely. Yeah, no, exactly.
No, because that's the beginning. Hags are like the shepherds of souls in between. People like go to hags to break it.
To break it down for people who may not have been there for the initial stream, and just to go into another explanation of it, this world that we've created, there's three worlds. There's the material world, and then there's the other world, which is essentially a mirror image of the other world that is almost like inlaid over the top of it at the same time, which is the world of spirits, the world of otherworldly forces, of magic, and everything like that. And in between these, there exists the third world, which is almost like a barrier between the two, in which when people die on the material plane, their souls traverse across this in-between plane to reach the spirit world. And hags in the setting act as almost go-betweens and navigators for people on the material plane trying to contact souls on the other side or in the in-between or all around that. They can help souls traverse it easily. People would pay hags or make deals with hags to be like, hey, my mother died. Can you help her soul reach the other side? Now, if it's a good hag, they'll uphold the deal. If it's, a bit more of a eviler hag, then they will corrupt it. They will manipulate. They will alter the arrangement somewhat. So that's sort of the role of hags that we had established within the setting. So with that knowledge, I think there definitely, Audra, there has to be some connection for hags with the other side.
Are hags native
with
to
this
the
spirit
in-between?
That's something I was thinking about. Perhaps hags have some sort of innate connection to the in-between, less so with the spirit world, because I think we already have a spirit race, or a race that's bonded with spirits. So I think hags could almost be, perhaps maybe not native, but perhaps descendants of things that are native, or some sort of connection to that.
Stink says, what in that case, what if hags are divine psychopops?
Psychopomps?
Created by gods of death and the grave as servants. Maybe they originally were. That's not a bad origin.
That's not a terrible idea, actually. That's not a terrible idea. They could almost be like a natural
way.
That could be there.
What if hags are people that returned wrong, and that's why they now go through? They help guide people through because they couldn't, and they long to get to the other side, but they just can't because they were returned wrong.
What if hags almost feed upon that in between? Like there's almost like a drawing of their life essence upon it.
Well, that's where magic is. So yeah, if they're innately magical, maybe that's how they sustain themselves. Maybe they don't need to eat or sleep. Did we end up with gods? We haven't done gods. Do we need to
we
do
haven't
gods
touched
first?
upon gods. No, because the way that we're operating with gods in this setting is that there's going to be a myriad of different pantheons of different supposed gods that exist. Different groups are going to have their different gods, some of which may be real, some of which may be fake, some of which may be incredibly powerful individuals that have achieved immortality and who have cults around them that act as if they are gods. So as to whether or not there are gods is a bit more dependent upon
True.
Upon where in the world. Like, there is no one established creator god. Like, we want there to be a lot of mystery in that aspect.
We don't want to answer how the world was made. We don't want old
No,
gods
at least
either.
not publicly. At least not publicly. That's not something that we address, which is how the world was made. And rather, we want to have the approach of a lot of different interpretations around the world of how the world came into being, how the different races came into being. You know, perhaps this group of dwarves over here literally thought they spawned from the mountain when the volcano erupted, or, you know, something like that.
So hags are like Magian or constructs? Maybe, I don't know. We're just throwing ideas out there right now.
Okay, that's actually interesting, though. That's actually interesting. What if hags were almost artificially created beings?
Elaborate.
So what if hags were almost, you know, you use the word constructs there, which is interesting, so that led me to this, but almost created through magic or some arcane means by mages in the long distant past, many, many aeons ago, were created through magic. Basically, regular humanoid forms that were twisted and contorted to be able to have them access to the other world, initially by mages who thought that it could enable them a better access, a conduit almost for their magic into that in-between, but as such, they broke free of that. There was a long process of them establishing, you know, their own control, but they retained that innate connection due to that magic that was poured into them, due to the fact they were artificially created by magic, that they've retained this connection.
I don't love that, but I got an idea off of that I think could be cool.
Shit.
What if hags, so not mages do it, but what if to make a new hag, they don't do like asexual reproduction. They literally create a body from like vines, twigs, moss, bits of like refuse from the forest or whatever location they are, and they construct a body and they pull a returned soul as payment to this body to make a new hag.
Interesting. That's interesting. That leads me a bit more towards not having hags as a race, though, as that makes them seem very uncommon. Because this is just, I was trying to think of how we make races common enough, hags common enough that we can have them be of that level.
Maybe that's the difference between a hag race and a true hag, though. Maybe there's a hag effect, and that's how true hags are made.
In that case, I think we should need almost like a name. I don't call them like, you know, lesser hags to an extent. Like, there's true hags and there's lesser hags. And then they could even just be like, they are the children of true hags, or they are blood descendants.
What if we do a Lilith
What if we
type
did
thing?
What if we did a Lilith type thing? That where all the children of a great being were once beautiful. The being was not content with her role and tried to rebel. She lost the fight and was banished, her children cursed, and now her children guide souls in the hope the soul they guide will one day be their mother. That's interesting. That's interesting. So like we almost have like a ancestor hag in that extent.
The hag,
that's
the
curious.
God of the hags, or the goddess of the hags.
The god of the hags, the goddess of the hags. Yeah, I'm just going to drop a section now, because I want to take down some of these notes before we immediately... Hags. So I was just going to have chat ideas, just so we can separate it. Okay. This is just me just putting down some notes up here.
That's alright. That's alright. I was just putting some stuff in so I don't forget it.
God.
Trigger, that's a good idea. But are hags purely female? With the construct part, I think I might hit close to Bleach without intention. Look, yeah. The problem is Bleach is so fucking long running.
Did you just get me to like agree to something that was
not yet? Okay. That was the kind of the constructed body. There's like there's technically in Bleach they can construct bodies for the Soul Reapers to go into, but
that's not bad. That's not bad. I do think that for the hags, too much media in the world. You reference something, yeah, but Taz, I'm deliberately trying not to reference Bleach here. That is the difference. Any other media, yes, I will reference. Okay, no, but what if there is almost... I like the idea of there being a god that they believe in. There to be like a hag god. I think that makes it quite interesting, or at least that they believe to be the progenitor of hags.
Okay.
I quite like that idea. That's quite different. That's quite unique, because we're not going for the Fae approach, which is something very different. They're not Fae. So... what are they?
Interesting. I'm trying to think a little bit on it. There's some really good mythology we could pull from. Instead of true hags and lesser hags, I would just call them hag and hag spawn. Yeah.
Hag spawn. Hag spawn. I don't hate that.
I don't hate just as ideas.
Hag. It feels weird every time I. Thank you, stinks. It just feels. I never have to call someone stinks so many times. It feels like I'm insulting you with it. Okay. My issue is that I don't want to tread upon the toes of the spirit-bound race that we had in mind. I don't want to tread on the toes of that too much. So
okay, well, I've got an idea then. It's kind of pulling from like various mythologies throughout like things, but what if the first hag, she literally originated because her partner passed on to the other side and they couldn't bear the thought of losing them, so they forced their way through to the other side to find the soul to get that closure, and when they came back the journey had affected them so much that they were no longer human. That's how hags came to be.
Okay.
Like there's the whole Izanagi and Izanami myth, like kind of similar. Like lover went on, they went to the afterlife to try and find them, came back kind of fucky. Like there's so many like myths across like many different forms of mythology about someone trying to go to the other side of the other world to find their lover and coming back kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Like what if we pull from like this? It's not a Bleach thing.
Yeah.
It's not.
No. I know.
Are you familiar with the Izanagi?
I mean, it's a fairly. I'm not familiar with that, but there's a lot of.
I can send it to you for this story. It's actually fun fact. Right. My username. I got into that myth because I think it's Persona 4. The initial persona you get is called Izanagi, and I love that game, and that led me down the rabbit hole of like I tried to like Google stuff about the game, and when I typed Izanagi, I got into all the Japanese mythology about it, and then I actually for like until like maybe like 6 years ago, and I started just going by Des on everything because it's so much easier to get a username nowadays because there's so many variations. Izanagi was my username on everything.
Ah, interesting.
They prefer to be called cackling old crows. Cackling old crows, as they're reproduced like everything else, and they wandered here from elsewhere. Less a hag, more ghouly. Maybe. I really like pulling the. I'll send you the myth.
I like that.
You can read it.
I like that being like the myth behind the hags. I like that being the myth. Jinx blood.
Ooh, Jinx blood. I like that.
I like that. You know what? I think I like the blood part. I like the blood part. Jinx blood. Jinx blood.
Leaves. Here, after free. You don't decide today. Read this myth in your free time. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's like beautiful.
Yeah.
I believe also there is a reference to Izanagi in there's like a Naruto ability, I think, for the Uchiha clan that does that. But like, to be fair, it's also in the Marvel comics. I believe it's also in Persona, like it's in Destiny. Here's an idea related to Alex. What if kobolds, dragonborn, and similar draconic humanoids, if you have those in your setting, are actually part plant? Has some sort of lore where the first kobolds and dragonborn were created when the blood of a powerful dragon was spilled upon a forest. The arcane magic flowing through it, animating these plants as partial draconids. The Morrigan myth is also a great read. I will say Morrigan, S tier. If you don't know it, read it. Are you familiar with the Morrigan ref?
I am.
Good.
Although doesn't the Morrigan have appearances in quite a few different myths as well? Like, it's not really like one Morrigan myth. It's more a figure that appears throughout. Because I know there's also like the Ulster cycle. She has a very distinct appearance in that compared to other cycles.
Yeah, no, she's got a lot of origins, like with Cuchulainn as well. She's got a lot of reference to Cuchulainn.
I was gonna say the Cuchulainn iteration, then like the story of Cuchulainn is the main thing I do know her from, or rather the figure of the Morrigan. Which is quite interesting because Cuchulainn also references hags as well.
Yeah, we could look to Cuchulainn the Morrigan. That is very Irish mythology. I'm comfortable in that space.
No, I like yours. I like yours in terms of the idea of, at least for the hags, like who was their progenitor, who was their creator, in terms of the religious basis for the hags. Who do they believe in? I think that is a good starting point.
We're pulling from the Izanami myth from Japanese folklore to figure the first one. Somebody's lover went to the other side of the world, like the afterlife. They couldn't stand it, so they went off to go and find them. Like a curse, yeah. It's kind of a curse, yeah. Maybe. I feel like we've got a lot of ideas. We'll put a few down. We'll figure out what we go with when we have like a good basis of like things to start working up from.
Seemed to be. I don't know the best way of putting this.
I was really hoping when someone said, "Oh, do you know anything about like the Morrigan?" You would just go, "Oh yeah, it's just like I've played Dragon Age."
That's what I say. Let's have a look. There was a woman who traversed across to the spirit realm to reclaim Sol, her lost lover.
Yeah, but so we could kind of go by like
the.
Sorry, I'll let you type. What if there are special materials like ores, plants connected to the other side, and Hag's creation is partly based on that plant or something? Maybe we could even go with Greek mythology. They ate the food on the other side, and that's what caused the shift and change when they turned back.
Well, I could even, be very interesting though, is that the different groups of hags, in terms of, in broad terms, like more morally good hags versus evil, it's also based upon their interpretation of what happened to her. I think that's very interesting, is the interpretation within the culture of the hags and within the sects of the hags. Different sects of hags also have different beliefs around what happened to her on her journey. There's different interpretations of her journey to the other side, different interpretations of what happened to her there, and then what happened to change her when she came back. They each view it very differently, so that explains why you have, like night hags as opposed to ocean hags, or like these different groups as well, like sea hags. They have these different green hags believe this. They have very different ways of interpreting the journey of whatever we decide her name to be. And then that spreads out, because I like to think as well, like there's almost like the covens are almost like small
then you could almost
townships.
rather than like the covens, you could go kind of like that Morrigan in the Triple Goddess. You go the Maiden of Prophecy, Mother of Battle, and Crone of Fate. Like that could be our sub races.
Yeah.
What if we did it as they go to the other side and bring back food, and that's how you become like a jinx spawn? They feed the children, they find food from the other side.
No, they don't do that. They do a whole ritual to contaminate the food with the energy from the other side. They pull it across. They weaken the barrier deliberately, and then does that also mean that the belief and perception of everyone influences their magic? It depends what approach. Because we don't even know if, like, when we say hags, if we're just going to go standard stat block D&D hags, or if we're going to try and do something different, if they're going to work a bit differently from that. So I'm not too sure on that, Audro. I'm not too sure on that. But I like the idea that new hags are created via ritual, like contaminating the food. And then that produces... Well, that is interesting. That is very interesting. I like that
trigger. I like that. The food from the other side, using that to bring... Like, they prepare a feast of food gathered from the other side. I'm asking if that's limited to hags or to everybody. I think it would take a hag to do the ritual.
Oh, right. I think we could even have, like, particular hag rituals and magic, like, very closely kept within their community.
Well, one thing I said to you about the settings, I really wanted, like, pagan magic to be a thing. So.
Yeah. So in terms of who they find, though, in terms of the ones, is that their own children, or is that people they find, or is that those within their communities? I think
it's both. I think you could have secret hags living in cultures, and they're like, I want to pass on my culture, so I need to travel to the other side. And then there's some that are like open about their hag status and literally get money, and like they go, I can let your ancestors, I will guide them to the other side, but in exchange, you must give me your child so I can continue on this tradition. I will bring back food when I get your ancestor to the other side, and when I come back with that food, I will take your child, and they will become like me. And maybe they don't even take them. Maybe they just say, you can have your child back, but we need hags to continue this tradition. Like, they will apprentice with me almost. Oh, what if they curse you in order to stop their soul being claimed on the journey across? Ooh, maybe. That's also a good idea. That's also a very good idea.
Interesting.
I like the idea I had for how they make new ones and why they have to make new ones, because they don't want the tradition to die. Like, maybe they have their own children. They can have the, like, trueborn, like, jinx spawn of, like, hags. But, like, they're like, we need, like, if we don't take something for doing this, because, like, why would they take money for this? Like, other than if they really need it, like, they take money on it, but they're like, I will ask of you your child. If you want your husband to pass through, fine. Your daughter will be the one to help it.
What if, okay, jinx spawn, in terms of the actual playable race of hags, they're created through this spirit contaminated food almost. That is how they're created, through this ritual magic, performing that. What if hags are hags? It's a form of, very much as you're saying, but like a form of reincarnation in an aspect. The char they do will contain the soul of a departed hag, so it doesn't have to depart. There isn't that danger. It goes back to this form. And it provides a form of security for it. So rather than hags dying,
they're just a reincarnated version.
They have that. They just reincarnated back into these bodies. And that prevents them from having to go across the other side, which they almost see as being that is the journey that their progenitor took. That is this journey that is
But can they make more than one hag? Or can they do both? Like, can they make a new hag? Can they turn something into a hag? Or is it always a reincarnation thing? Or can they just choose to inhabit one of their reincarnated bodies? Here's a question. What is the distinction between a witch and a hag? Raph, I'm going to let you answer that while I run to the bathroom.
That's a very good question, Stinks. That is an excellent question. What is a witch in this setting? I don't know. I don't know. Do you have suggestions? Do you think that there should be a specific thing people think of as a witch? what is a witch? Is it a spellcaster that lives out in the woods on the outskirts of society? Perhaps that's the terminology that is used for it. Maybe that's what people refer to as a witch. Is more so a magic using hermit that lives, on the fringes of society. Perhaps that is the difference. That is the terminology that people use to define them, which I think is quite interesting. Good question, though, actually. That's something I hadn't thought about. Maybe it's a thing with twins. They offer to gift one child with great magic. Sork subclasses, but in return, Corsairs Cove, you bloody legends.
Welcome on in. How is Candlekeep going? I think you're doing your Candlekeep thing. How are you
doing?
How is it going?
Yeah.
Guys, if you're already not following Corsairs Cove, why the heck not? They're amazing. They do some really, really cool stuff. Yes, Tony.
Welcome on, Raiders.
Corsair Goose Raid.
Des, do you want to explain to them what we're trying to do today?
Guys, we're building up a setting from scratch with you, yes, you, in mind. We're making it from the bones up. Most, if not all of it, we can get on stream. We're working on what is the races of this new setting now. One of them is a hag-like creature. So we've got a bunch of stuff kind of written down on this. Where are the races? So we got 14 major ones: humans, elves, dwarves, orcs, Yuan-Ti equivalent, Kalashtar equivalent, plasmoid insects, hags, Briarthorn, don't know what that is, Kitsune fungi race, humans with avian features, and a psionic race. Other than that, we started working today specifically on the hags and their origins, trying to figure out what do they call their progenitor. We've kind of gone with we're feeling like an Izanami style myth creature. A lover went to the other side, that mythology. You see it awful lot pop up. Someone went to the other side to try and find a loved one and came back kind of weird, and how they make new ones. This hopefully will eventually be a playable setting for everybody. But we're working from the ground up with chat. Yes. So if that sounds kind of cool to you to make a setting with us, we're happy to hear your ideas. Come in, hang out, pull up a chair, throw out some ideas. There's no wrong ideas in a brainstorm. We'll throw it all up and see what we can't get. Witches are specifically practitioners of those who study herbalism and curse magic, whereas hags innately channel curse magic through their very being, much like the wizard and a sorcerer. That's your idea. Interesting.
Curious distinction. Do we actually want to have a distinct witch-based class in this, Des?
I mean, Cobalt Press put one out, and I think that's a pretty cool class.
They did put one out, but here's my thing, though, Des. You have wanted to create a witch class for the longest time.
I have wanted to create a witch class. Ever since you've known me.
I've known you. Ever since I started playing D&D with you, you have mentioned a witch class.
Yeah, it's like my white whale.
Is that an undertaking you want for this new world? Do you want to finally
put it in? We'll have a hags and we'll link them to a witch class. I'll finally bite the bullet and create a witch class.
Or do you want them separate?
I mean,
do you want witches and hags to be separate?
No, I think not all witches. Not all witches are hags. Not all hags are witches. But you can have hags that are witches and witches that are hags.
Less of us are true hags.
Okay. I really like Jinx Blood as an idea.
Yeah, I really like that. I really like that idea. Who suggested Jinx Blood? Was that you, Taz? Who came up with it?
I feel like that could be Trigger.
Yes, that was Taz. You know what? Great idea. I'm gonna mark that down. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm just filling out the doc at the moment, just to put some of this information down, so we actually have it in writing.
Majority of writing today, that's fine. But I really like what we're getting for hags. But that being said, I don't think they have I don't think we have the hagkingdom.tm. I don't think we do it.
No, I think hags are far more tribal, very rural. In the backwoods. In the fringes of society, you have these communities, you have these small townships that have set up, where it's not just like a coven of just a few hags. It's a community for, you know, maybe nefarious purposes. Maybe they, as we're saying, we want hags to be quite varied. So no, so I think they exist in small groups. And you could even perhaps have them traveling. You could have them as almost like semi-nomadic. But I think it's very much like there's no fixed centralized hag location.
Hey, Viddy, subscribing at tier 1. Not all witches are hags, but all hags are witches. Steve, stop being a jerk. Exactly. Fuck you, Steve. How are you, Viddy? How the heck are you?
How you doing, Viddy?
Me blushes. I just, you know, the blushing cat meme. That's just what I imagine Trigger's doing right now. Hags are much more rural, yeah. Witches might form kingdoms ruled by a coven. Oh, a witch kingdom. Now that's something. Yeah, I found my clip video. I'm sorry.
Viddy,
I can't grab you anymore. You're kind of you're fixed up again. Can hags turn into cats and be sexy as fuck? Be super good in martial arts? No, Uldra, stop. I'm gonna bonk you. You're actually getting bonked. Reference? That's a Bleach reference. Remember that quality cultural picture Jen put in our
that's right.
server? That's the character they're referencing.
That's right.
Sounds like the beginnings of a logic problem for sorting data. Reading aloud, just the person we're looking for. Wasn't she referred to ask a witch at some point? Yeah, I think so. Shouldn't it be witch queendom and a warlock kingdom? Well, that depends. If we have witch be gender locked to female, or we could just have witch be the terminology for that is.
Okay, distinction here. Witches are jinx bloods whose magic has been taught by hags. Yeah, almost like it is their apprentices.
Ooh.
But who aren't full hags.
Hags are also malevolent. Yes, they are. That's what we're kind of leaning towards.
Hags
are morally grey.
Hags depends on the hag. That's something we really want to have.
Oh, I like that. Put that down as an idea. What if the witch subclass got a coven-like skill where they empower other spellcasters? I like that. I think that's a core feature. I don't think that's a subclass idea. I think witches, as a coven, excel with other casters in their party.
Oh, I like that. Because that is something we did discuss. For those of you who missed it, we were discussing a pipe.
I've wanted to create a witch class for a long time. I've had many ideas, but I've yet to put any of them on paper because I'm always thinking I'm too busy.
In your mind, what is a witch subclass? Like, what is it that you want to hit with that?
I want like this kind of pagan style magic, very ritually focused, very buff and utility. Buff utility alchemy. I feel like the alchemist subclass. I feel like alchemist is a failed subclass of artificer and should belong to a witch or wizard. So I'm going to make an alchemist subclass or herbalist. Hags are cunning first. They have favorites and little regard for those they outwit. How it was explained to me in D&D. I think that is typical hags, yeah, but we're going to go kind of different reading. We're kind of pulling them a little bit different for our setting because they're going to be very relevant to how the in-between world and the setting works, as they're going to be ones who can kind of guide the souls across.
Yes, we are trying to create a very different world, like a lot of different lore surrounding key elements compared to the standard Forgotten Realms races and monsters and everything else. So I'm just going to continue writing the stuff down.
While you are within 30 feet of another spellcaster, you gain a bonus to your spell attack bonus and spell DC as shown in the insert table here. That could work. Would be... What about Screaming Cackle as an attack? Maybe. Depends. Depends if we want to go with the cackling hag kind of stereotype, if we want to go more... One witch by themselves aren't a problem. A coven of 50 witches, now that could end the world. Exactly.
We want hags to play a major role.
Yeah, we want hags to be a central point of this setting. For the idea of cackling scream, totally different. Look, screaming cackle, cackling scream.
That's interesting.
Oh, hi.
I think we've got some good ideas. I think some good ideas so far for this. Hags and hags. All right. So I think we've got a good basis of what we want hags to be in the world, what we want them to be in the setting. As for because this came about because we want to discuss the race that we want, which is going to be, I think what we've established the name to be Jinx Blood. For now, at least. We're both warm on the name.
Yeah.
Of Jinx Blood, which is, yeah. So I'm just trying to think, how do we want them to operate? Almost like, how do we want them to appear? How do we want them to operate within society outside of their covens, outside of their local hag communities? Do we want them to be almost viewed with suspicion and just distrust, or are they almost like respect because no one wants to get on the bad side of these hags? Like, what role do you think they occupy in the greater world?
In the greater world, I think.
What's like the type of feeling? Solitary?
I don't want them to be solitary. I think some of them literally live in societies, but I think they have hags to be such a central point in like the Jinx Plus. I think they literally hide in societies. And people, like, it's kind of a whispered secret in societies. You can find a hag in this city. And it's like a big deal. But like, it's very secretive about who they are.
What if it's almost like these Jinx Bloods are the links for people in civilization to contact hags? They go through them. If they want to sort of contact a hag and make a deal with one, then they try and find the Jinx Blood in the city. Like, they're their point of contact. If they want to make deals, there's the reason why they send these Jinx Bloods out into society, is so people can find them and be like, hey, my mother just died. I want you to look after her soul in its journey to the afterlife. They reach this out for this person, who then contacts the hags. And it's almost like they're the ambassador, almost, in a very formal, rigid sense.
I like that. I do like that.
But they're deliberately sent out. What do you think about
some smaller rural villages out there that actually like set up around a hag that just didn't want them, but they're like, nah, but you're really helpful. Like, you help our animals, you help our livestock, you help our crop.
Well, you could have that. I think you could genuinely have a lot of Jinx Bloods as well have very close ties to rural communities, like villages and hamlets. You could be quite not common, but not unheard of, for these Jinx Bloods to exist on the outskirts, doing stuff like that, like just doing small alchemist things, making herbal salves and potions and bits to look after their issues. No, I think that's a really cool idea. Just living on the outskirts of these communities, I think that's a very interesting approach. Like, they're the means, the business reps. Exactly.
Could they be transformed? I think they definitely can. I think hags can easily shapeshift their identity.
Yeah. What if Jinx Bloods get a hag mother as an NPC, much like how Asimal's get a guardian?
I like that.
That's cool. I like that.
Put that idea in there from Stinks. Life hags are tolerated. Death hags who work in the spirits afterlife and defy religious orders are outcast. Depending on the culture, I could definitely say I'll put that in there. I'll grab readings, you grab Stinkses.
What do we want them to look like? Jinx Bloods, that is.
They can't be looking like Hex Bloods. That's the main requirement.
I mean, look, they can share some similarities, I suppose. But no, it's an interesting question, though, because they need to be distinctive enough, but there needs to be something distinctive about them, where people can point at them and be like, hey, that over there, that's the Jinx Blood. That is hag. That is hag touched. They need to have something. Maybe it's not like a huge, hugely different appearance, but it has to be something. It has to be something there.
It has to be something.
Whilst
a blue sky rather than red, yo, they look like voodoo dolls.
Ooh. Maybe female Jinx Bloods is good aligned and are seen as helpful, but males are seen as to be spiteful and resentful. Interesting. Tattoo back of neck. Interesting. Hang on. While we discuss this, I'm just going to be back in 1 second, Des.
Okay. They never fart, yo. That's the solution here. Like a birthright age, I don't know. Taking a page out of the Pathfinder book, Jinx Bloods are pale and live with heterochromic eyes. One eye is always pitch black and white iris, the other is coloured, related to their hag mother. Is Jinx Blood a name in Pathfinder? Or is that to do with hags? I haven't checked anything about Jinx Blood. Maybe that's a good idea where we start looking for some reference images or. Well, shit, bro. Yes. Where's the gas? Shit, man. Imagine getting outed because you didn't toot it. They have glowing, shifting glyphs that move across their skin. Interesting. That's an evil eye. Interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about the tattoos going across skin. It's very high magic. I like them to be able to blend into society a bit more easy. I think they're very like easy to pass as regular humanoids. I could see something like almost like they do have like more like runic tattoos across them. Raph, what do you think about this though? What if did you play the new God of Wars or did you see the new God of Wars?
Yes.
What if they had tattoos similar to like Freya's tattoos? Like that was a symbol of them. You know, the fingers completely blacked out. Like they look pretty weird.
Interesting.
Like kind of that runic tattoos, like that's part of it, like coming of age.
So they have. Okay. So they have a very distinctive form of tattoo.
Tattoo on the back of the neck could be hidden by hair, yeah. Jinx Blood is not the name of pastimes. They are changelings, entirely different from D&D changelings, but they're not shapeshifters or half hags. Interesting. Some Keech can alter appearance. Yeah, I don't think they can alter their appearance a little bit, but I don't think they're full on changeling.
No, they're not full on changelings, but there's ways they can do it. I kind of like that. I think perhaps, yes, I like the idea of perhaps it's markings. Perhaps there's also visual indicators if you want to take the approach that they have, like some also visual indicators, whether their eyes are a different color or something like distinctive like that.
Interesting. I like this. I definitely think there's some form of indication. What if just like as a thing though, their eyes don't have the normal colors that humanoids would have? Like rather than getting like blues, greens, browns, they get like purple, yellow, like these weirder like colors.
Okay.
You could almost go on like the color, like.
Okay.
On the color wheel.
What if they're no? What if we just go freaky? What if their pupil is a color, but then their iris is black? So it's just like inversed.
Yeah, let's do something like that. Do you need them to stand out? I think there needs to be like subtle indicators. I don't think they need to stand out a lot. There needs to be like small indications that this is not like normal. Yeah.
I think some sort of runic tattoos or symbols on their skin, which is like you can't really be changed, can't be taken off. I don't know. I like the idea of the eyes being fucking like that. So when people look at them like, hang on a second, that's not quite right.
Their eyes change color depending on their language. Wait, do they just have mood rings for eyes?
Well, actually, no. But I think that the eyes, like the color, depends on what type of hags they progenate from. That's the color change.
Okay, I can follow that.
Okay, let me put this down.
Yeah, Stinks kind of has same idea. What if they get more different eye colors depending on their hag mother? I like that a lot.
Pupil is. Okay.
What if they have glyphs in their iris? Ooh. That could work.
Interesting. Ooh. I don't hate that as well. That could be, yeah. That could be actually kind of fucking cool.
Wait, what if instead of they have same perfectly normal colored iris, but instead of a pupil they have a glyph? Go Naruto, yeah. We've pivoted from Bleach and we're gone to Naruto. We're gone to fucky eyes.
No.
We pivot.
We're just trading. We're trading one for another.
It's a pivot.
No. I like. Actually, you know what? I like that. Instead of. So instead of So the irises have sorry, no, but
glyphs instead of pupils.
What did you say? Glyphs instead of pupils. That's what you said. Okay, yep. Interesting. Are you making notes down on this?
No.
Or not? Because I just realized I hadn't entirely been taking notes.
Oh, it's only visible to those with malice in their heart. It's what the myth of the evil eye originated from in this world. That's not bad. I don't hate that.
Or perhaps... No, what if the glyph in the eyes only becomes visible if you're trying to actually search a hag for their services? And then it reveals. So if you're wandering around the city trying to find where this hag is, and you see that in the eye, they could just otherwise look like a complete null, but it is an indicator for someone who needs.
You only see it if you're looking for it. I like that.
Yes. Yeah.
So the first hag had a purple iris and several rings parallel going outwards. Yeah, probably. That's a Naruto reference, Raph. I like that you only see it if you're looking for it. That's kind of fucky. That's fucky. That's fucky a lot of time. And then you can kind of have the evil eye origin because people say, people don't look for hags to do good things. It's like of everything in cities, and that's what it kind of came from.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So just take down some more notes on this whole thing.
Bro, imagine how fucky it is. You're wandering on the road, you're trying to find a hag somewhere, and you rock up to a village and everyone has glyphs in their eyes.
See, that's the type of
you only find what you're looking for, dearie. Yes.
I really like that. So move on, which goes to separation. Small.
So we're going to have a hunt to combine the bloodlines for the perfect eyes. Yeah. Oh, but you know what's fucky? If someone's hunting hags in the world, they're looking for the eyes so they can see it.
Hag hunters. I'm not going to hag hunter.
Be like a blood hunter, but actually mechanically balanced.
You know what, Des? That's another class we should make. Blood hunter, but mechanically good.
Blood hunter, but it's actually playable outside of a Critical Role show. Bro, that thing wasn't playable inside Critical Role. Just ask Molly.
Shit.
You get con men who pretend to be Jinx blood to steal from desperate souls. Interesting. Feminine able to pay the price.
You could though. You could have magicians almost using magic to change their eyes to put glyphs in there, being like, yes, I shall help you, now pay me the money. Just absolute con men. I like that.
Different glyphs.
And then they could rock up.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Now I really want to create a Jinx blood character. I really want to make a Jinx blood character now. Holy shit.
This happened when we did the revised ancestries last time as well. Every time we got through one, you wanted to make one.
Yes, that is the case.
Correct. And?
Yeah, and?
Items like the giant items, but hag. Yeah.
So do you think that they are human in appearance, across the board?
I think they could be like. Yeah. I would almost say they look like half elves, maybe.
Why?
Well, what was the first hack? I think I could see. This is where I'm struggling to not make them a lineage rather than a race. I don't know. I'm just where my gut went to.
Like, I just don't want to make everything. I just want to make everything a fucking lineage. Like otherwise, we're gonna end up with so many different lineage. And I don't know. I like.
So then my question is, does a hag go? Well, I can do that for you, but only if you bring me a human child.
No, but does it change their appearance? Just shape it after the first hag.
Yeah. Okay, we could do that. Okay, that's fine. I can do that. If it literally.
I don't know. I don't know, because then we are searching for 2 more races instead of 1 more. And we could put a lot of.
We can make a lot of things.
A lot of races.
I think you're right. I suppose we could have ones that look a little bit more like they're distinct enough to not be a lineage, but you could say, oh well, like you were originally, your parents are elves, so you look a little bit more like. But we still have like this standard thing of they look like a Jinx blood. As to what they look like, I think they look pretty humanoid. Maybe like, I don't actually hate the thing what Stinks said, have long fingernails, cold as iron on a winter's day, use like claws. I don't know if I'd let them use it like claws, but I do like the long fingernails. Because our hags obviously aren't going to look like official D&D hags. Do you have any idea of specifically for what they should look like?
No more than what I've said so far.
What if we let them look like a specific standard, but we give them like minor shape shift? They can change their ears to be slightly more pointed. They can change their height to be slightly shorter or taller, kind of to match and blend into the civilization they're in. If they look, so they can look a little more elvish, or a little more dwarvish, or a little more human.
Interesting. No, they can't. Considering something.
They can't shape
I've been
shift.
Considering something similar. No, but they have a minor form of altering their appearance.
Yeah, minor alteration, like height up or down by a foot. Then they could
change the color of their hair, change the shape of their hair, do basic things like that. They can do.
Yeah. What if we didn't even make it an at will thing, but it's like when you are spending like 8 hours in a new civilization, you can alter your appearance to be that, to blend into the local population. Shifting to look like a more average member of the current society. Like, it's not like an at will, I can change my hair purple, blue, whatever. I can just, but it's like, oh no, like you spend time in this society and your body, you can literally adapt. Like it's an adaptation thing. Like, rather than an actual conscious, like, I'm going to make this change, this change, this change. It's like, no, I will adapt to this environment.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
What if witches are gifted teddies as children that turn out to be their familiars? That's cute.
That's cute.
Annie better rock up and roll you for your shoes, though.
Throw timbers down. Fire. Enable to...
Because I don't want to just let them be like, oh, I want to change my hair, like, you know, click, 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 click. I think it's like, it's more of a survival thing, like they adapt to their surroundings.
Well, it's not so much that it's a survival thing, it's more so designed as something that they can better take advantage of the communities they find them in.
Maybe I'll hang like act as a more trusted. You know what? You listen here.
Des, I think that's slightly targeted. It's just slightly targeted, you know?
Because they have no souls. Shit.
Ah, shit, that makes so much sense.
Fuck. You know what?
I'm sorry, Des. I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to tell you like this, but yeah.
But I like that kind of as like an adaptation thing to like their current environment. They can kind of look more like the average citizen in the area.
Mm-hmm. Then to put a suit to change that. Change. Okay, yeah, no, I like that. I like that. It makes a lot of sense for the general lore that we've got set for them.
Yeah.
Do they have an option, like, are they able just to change it back to their original form at will and then back once they have it established?
I think they do it on like a short rest. Because I don't know if this is just be like a changeling at will thing. I think it's like part of a rest.
Yeah,
short or
but
long rest.
Yeah, but it's not like a changeling, as it's only 2 forms at a time. There's the original form, and then there's whatever they have, and there's their local form.
True. I just like it to be a little bit of a slower process. You know, so if you're using it, you can't just swap back and forth in a city at will.
Okay. No,
thematically, it doesn't really make much of a difference, but lore-wise, it means like it's so in my mind, it's like people can't just be like, oh well, a traveler came to the city, and treat every traveler like they could be a jinx blood because, you know, because they can change at will. Like I think there's implications for the trust level jinx bloods get if they can change at will in the world, like what changelings.
Yeah. Yep.
Could be like a chameleon thing. Could it be like,
okay,
have it change when they're in danger to signal a jinx hunter nearby? Oh, it's something about it. Someone hunting them, it snaps them back. So if or maybe a hag hunter can make them transfer back. That's the thing.
Yeah, there's like certain magic or potions or incantations that they can. Yeah.
So if they use energy from the 9 hell equivalent, I imagine if they were in the malevolent spiritual area, if there was a city there, they could look somewhat more devilish, but not greatly. Could have it be like chameleon thing. Okay, yeah, I feel like those are some good ideas. I like it. I like where we're at.
I like that a lot. I'll copy that down.
Second out. Which needs certain ingredients. Yeah, definitely.
So we want them to be very like a lot of skills in alchemy. We want the alchemy to be a part.
I feel like they're taught it when they're raised by the hags. Yeah, they can't help but reflect the area's vibe as it helps them communicate with local people and spirits. Exactly. They're just doing the ultimate vibe check in every settlement.
Which is the whole point. Like, if they're sent out to be these conduits between hags and the rest of civilization, then it makes sense that they better suit the whatever pockets of civilization they find themselves in.
Yeah, Jinx Hunters looking at them force them to show a true form kind of thing. If the Jinx Hunter has... I think but mine meant maybe have it's all a creation. Let's change it. Shit.
Okay.
Okay, I like this. I feel like we're getting close to like actually. Do you think we get the lore for all of the races done first and then we worry about statting it out?
Yeah, I think we get a general idea because, of course, like we want to have things that racial abilities and things that make sense for the lore of each race.
Sorry, what I'm more meaning to say is, do you think we stat out all the kind of lore and like fluff text, I suppose, for all the races first, or will we go into making the stats for this first before we go on to something else?
I think mechanics come later. I think at the moment what we're trying to do with this world building is very much just put out the lore and stuff. We're not really worried at this stage about getting the mechanics down. Okay. It's just more the place of things in the world, how they work, how they operate.
So they eat food from the side. If the food is from the 9 hells, they look devilish. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. If they from like the initial creation of the food, yeah, that could be depending on what part of the spirit realm it's from. That could affect the lineage of hag. The lineage of hag would get food from a specific area probably. So I'll be back in just a minute, Ref.
No, absolutely. Interesting. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to copy that down. Put that across, actually. me take out this part. That's okay. Okay. So the food also that makes them change appearance. Okay. So what? Like you think like if there's more, fiendish spirits in the part of the other world where they eat the food, then what they like have like small little horns that can almost grow out of their head, things like that. That's interesting. That is an interesting approach. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. Hags are truly ugly, so they need to be transformed to meld in. Well, these aren't full hags. These are just almost, I'm trying to think of the right word, but almost like hags' apprentices, ones that won't be turned into full hags, but more so act as the communities around hags and who hags send out into the world to do their various biddings, whatever that may be. But yeah, I like that, Audrey. I think that's a very interesting idea as to how they get different appearances, how the different appearances of hags comes about. Makes it far more interesting. Far more interesting. I think it's something to definitely play around with.
Interesting. Yeah, I really like these ideas. I feel like this is getting actually quite cool for a race.
I like this. I like what we have down for this. For the Jinx Bloods.
Maybe Jinx Hunters use the food to lure them in. I think that's maybe how they make them revert to the true form, is like they use that into some sort of
they force feed concoction. Them.
But imagine the awkwardness. You go and force feed someone this food from the other realm and they just start frothing their mouth because they're not a Jinx Blood. You're like, sorry. I really should have been sure before I did that. Okay.
Interesting. I'm just making sure we have all this information written down here. Copied across.
What if they're unable to decline food? Me.
Well, no, it's true. They could almost be a compulsion when presented with this spirit-touched food.
It's almost like an addiction kind of thing. Like,
not an addiction. It's not so much an addiction. I don't think they're compulsed to eat it, but it's more so they're drawn towards it. It's a sense of like this is their origin point. There is some sort of change that overtakes them. It's almost like they can't contain their true form, almost like it almost bursts out. I like how we're just tying it to food. I love that. So I'm just going to go up ahead and blood. I'm just going to change the name in our race list just to Jinx Blood, because we've come up with a name for it. But that's very cool. I like that. And I think as well, like it's considering hags as well, and the fact that they do travel, the fact that they are, some of them at least, I like the idea of them, some of them hag communities being semi-nomadic in a sense, that it makes sense that they would spread out across the world. And so Jinx Bloods can be found across the world.
Like Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah. I think that feeding the human food would seriously hurt Jinx Bloods. Interesting. So what, do you think that they have to eat, in terms of when they eat, there has to be spirit-touched food?
No, mechanically that would make it awful for a player character. Because remember, we're not making that super easy to get over the other side, especially if they're not a full hag.
I think it's more so it plays into their transformation, then past that point they don't have to eat it. Yeah. But I like what we've come up with here. I mentioned. Oh right, human spirit touch. Right. Okay, yeah. I get you. I get you. I don't know. I like. There's a lot of interesting dynamics that we could bring into like individual kingdoms and realms in terms of how they interact with Jinx Bloods and how they interact with hags.
Okay.
I think we can get some very interesting ideas from that as well. Right. Okay. I get you, Joe. I think
fucking freezing in Ireland and putting on another pair of socks. It's just so cold.
Okay.
Do we go with the regular sub races of hag, or do we make our own? Do we make new hags? I don't know if night hag, sea hag, and all works for us anymore.
I was looking through the like what we had there, and that is something that I
don't think it works.
I'm not sure. With what we have down, it doesn't quite fit in. It doesn't quite fit in. I mean, are there different types of hags? Are there just hags? Maybe. Or like, are they
maybe
different?
Feeding a jinx blood food touched by a human spirit instead of a hag spirit causes their soul to cannibalize itself, much like how human eating human meat causes prion disease. That's dark.
Ooh.
Wonder how you'd mechanic that.
Interesting. Yeah. Maybe it could be an active betrayal for a jinx blood. Turn races into their coven. Could be an interesting player thing for witches. True, that could be a very interesting player thing.
I'm actually really happy with the progress you're making on this. You're doing a good job, chat.
No, but I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of at the moment. Sorry. Well, I'm currently on this in terms of different versions of hags.
I feel like that's an entirely different discussion.
I think it's something we can get into later. But that is an interesting point, though. I don't think we have standard. We don't have standard hags.
Not if we're going with the same with creation we're going for them. General eating spirit touch food that is not the same as the one creating them causes another mutation through jinx blood, but a second mutation is harmful. Ooh, I like that.
Ooh.
Maybe that's how you get villainous hags. They wanted all the mutations.
Or it could even be like what type of spirit touches them in the what type of spirits they're connected to in the other world, almost. Second mutation. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Question was difference between witches and hags. Witches are in covens, hags are defiantly solitary. I feel like we touched on that.
We touched on that. Hags are not solitary. Hags exist in covens and small communities of jinx bloods. Yeah. Whereas witches, I think you missed that whole discussion, Des. It was presented as a question, which is, what is a witch in the setting?
Oh yeah, I think I was away when I was doing something in the kitchen. In the setting, I imagine witches are far more like people who study the similar magic that the hags use. I think I heard that bit where it's kind of like wizard versus sorcerer.
Yeah.
I feel like
yeah,
that's kind of similar approach, maybe. But I also think I just like the idea that witches are just coven-based mages.
Okay. Well, witch could just be a term in general for someone who uses hag magic. Yeah. Pretty much. It's just a term of people that use the same magic. It's the term used, regardless of who they are and what they look like. It is the term used.
Stinks is pretty correct. Witches are specifically non-hag practitioners of hag magic, whereas hags innately know that magic. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I think that's kind of what we settled on.
Yeah. I think as well, like, jinx bloods are witches. Like, there were some jinx bloods, those that are magically inclined, can be included as witches. They're not full hags, yet they practice this magic. Yeah, no, I think that's a very good distinction to make.
Similar to
I like it. I like what we
have. The process more than once would be deadly. Yeah.
I think races for the Jinx Blood depend upon what type of hag they're connected to. Once we decide the different hag types and all of that, I think that very much decides it.
Hags are made from witches who successfully steal their coven's power, granting them gifts. The first of their Jinx Bloods are their old coven mates. That's kind of interesting.
That's kind of interesting.
I like what we have, but that's also really fucking interesting. I'm going to add that to the idea of like maybe another origin for hags.
I'm trying to not even think about origins for hags, but how we can work that into our current hag lore. If there's something if we can incorporate parts of that.
Maybe that's what the first hag did. She stole her coven's energy to try and get to the other side.
Almost like a mass group sacrifice.
No, she mass group cull so she could do it. She didn't get her coven's permission. She did it.
No, but it was like but sacrifice in the sense that she sacrificed her entire coven.
Yeah.
In order to do it.
Well, that's weird for good hags. No, but we can just have it be the origin. Who says hags can't have multiple origins? They can, but if we're trying to talk about that's true. Like the original or the, I suppose we can. I like that idea, so I want to make a note.
I like that idea. I do like that.
That's pretty fucking good. That's pretty fucking good. How long should a hag hide her identity and how? I don't think there's like a how long she has to hide. I think it depends on the culture and civilization she's in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think in terms of hiding identities for do we have I think there are almost like hags covens are based around seniority almost between more elder hags as well.
Arch hags? We could have arch hags.
Well that's what I'm thinking. It's more of like a seniority based upon age in terms of the hags. Like it's almost very much the elder hag in a sense, perhaps. Or perhaps there's a ritual process in some where, some rise to be the top hag. But yeah, in terms of hiding identities for Jinx Bloods and like, that's, I think, entirely dependent upon where they are in the world.
Maybe Archags are bound to the other side, or maybe they're bound to the in-between.
Maybe.
Maybe a hag's too powerful to stay on the material realm, but can't pass to the other side because of the things that they do to help others.
Okay.
Maybe the color of the eyes change the color of their spells. I like that, just as a theme thing.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's cool. So I think we have a very clear understanding of what hags are, what Jinx Bloods are. Jinx Blood being the playable race. Because all this started out because we knew that we wanted... Well, we had an idea of what hags did in the world. They played a major role in the setting. And what that kind of was. So we fleshed that out in quite a bit of detail about hags. But then we also really wanted to create a hag-based race in the world, which we have with Jinx Bloods. And I think Jinx Bloods have quite a unique role and quite an interesting character proposal. So what if we have a hag who is not turned into youthfulness when someone knocks on her door? How long would youthful transformation take? That's a good question. I don't know if hags themselves have...
Are our hags ugly, though? I don't know if we haven't really gotten that far.
We haven't really gotten
We've only done the hag spawn, the Jinx Blood. We haven't even done hags.
yes, hags themselves is going to be a very big process. Can move on to Dragonkin since we're basically done with hags and jinx squads.
Stinks and Fortune, we are getting ready to wind down. We've got about 2 minutes before I have to go start getting ready for work.
2 minutes.
Next
but if you have any suggestions,
do Dragonkin for the next session.
Look, if you have any suggestions for Dragonkin you want to shoot in chat that we can start discussing for our next stream, then shoot them in, and we'll bring them up first thing next stream. There have been some really good ideas.
There has been some really good ideas. But yeah,
I've been very happy.
Are going to get
with how progress
ready to wind down. Tomorrow we won't be doing New World stuff. We'll be doing D&D Academy, and I'll be doing the Spicy Noodle Challenge. I don't know if Raph has organized anything spicy yet. And then, but next time we'll be discussing this world is Friday at 1 p.m. GMT. We'll be going through world building, the new setting again, and we can move on to Dragonkin. I feel like that, like we did a race, now we can do a lineage, because we've got a lot of ideas for Dragonkin of how we want to do them. But I don't want to get started on it with less than 2 minutes left. I've got about... We kind of have to wind down because I have to start getting ready for work. But guys, if you enjoyed this today, please consider dropping a follow. We'd really appreciate it. And everyone who raided in with Cautious Scout today, thank you so much. We love having you guys here. We love doing this with you guys. This has been like a really fun project to start with. And I'm really happy with it. So please show up again. We also have this down here, and if that interests you, we have stretch goals in the Discord if you're curious. It is. We want to get an animated intro for our next campaign. Who knows if we actually get there? We're trying to raise money for it. It's a big goal. There's stretch goals along the way, and if it's within your means to donate, we'd appreciate it. It's down the about section. If it's within your means, that's cool. Or if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, that helps us a lot. If you do, eventually this is all going to get put on a World Anvil. Subscribing to the channel gets you access to our World Anvil. You can even see our existing World of Quentos that is predominantly done on there. Other than that, if you can't do that, we just love having you here chatting and watching. It does a lot for us. So we'll see you next time. We'll see you tomorrow for me to unalive myself with spicy noodles. Bye.
See you guys.